The chamber elder is shocked that she is going to such extremes just to recruit a young kid, but she confidently tells him that Lu Sheng is worth every bit of the effort. Hearing this, the elder smiles and approves her ambitious plan, telling her to spend whatever she needs and charge all the recruitment costs to the council's account. However, she politely turns down his offer to pay, explaining that her own savings will cover the costs for now. She decides to wait on presenting the official contract until they finally arrive at the hunting bow. But behind her polite actions, she is actually playing a much deeper political game of her own. Since she was born into a lesser branch of the family, she has always been ignored by the main family line, despite constantly winning trophies and bringing home massive victories. No matter how much talent and skill she showed, the arrogant elders in charge of the family refused to recognize her worth. Because of this, she had to fight incredibly hard just to get her current job leading this legendary cargo ship. Now, determined to prove everyone wrong who ever looked down on her, she decides to keep Lu Sheng a complete secret from the rest of her family, until she can secure his loyalty. She knows the greedy people on the Elder Council would happily steal all her credit and push her aside the moment they realized how amazing of a genius he is. Once she finally finishes her call with the Chamber Elder, she is left alone with her own thoughts. Xiangshan lets out a deep sigh of relief, feeling like the hardest part of her struggle is finally behind her. With the pirate threat completely destroyed and a legendary genius on her side, she is fully ready to show off her success to her arrogant family. She knows her main goal right now is to build a strong relationship with Lu Sheng by satisfying his endless hunger for training resources. She figures that as long as she keeps giving him a constant supply of top-quality resources, there is no way he will reject her friendship. She begins to plan her next moves for when they eventually land at the hunting bow. To really win his loyalty, she decides to gift him several sets of top-grade weapons, high-end armor, and even a luxury spaceship. She reaches into her spatial storage bracelet and pulls out 10 glowing blue gems. These are not just pretty rocks, but high-tech tracking devices linked directly to the premium star cores she gave him to monitor how fast he uses them. By using these monitors, she hopes to perfectly time her next gifts right as he runs out, making her look like a highly supportive partner. This also helps her manage her spending, since even her wealthy family cannot afford to just throw these extremely expensive star cores around like candy. She happily assumes she won't have to worry about giving him more for a few months, which gives her plenty of time to request more supplies from the main family. But her confidence instantly disappears when the glowing gems suddenly start turning gray and dying right before her eyes. She panics, desperately praying that the expensive tracking system is just broken, because there is no way he could have already used up 5 premium star cores. After all, she knows that each of these premium star cores contains the massive energy of 1,000,000 burning stars. Normally, even a highly powerful cultivator at level 13 would need almost 100 years of non-stop training to drain just one of these cores. Xiangshan grabs her hair in complete shock as she realizes Lu Sheng has already used up 4 of those powerful level 3 cores, which is enough energy to blow a strong veteran like Wu Tian to pieces hundreds of times over. What scares her even more is that Lu Sheng is still only at level 12, meaning this massive pile of resources will only last him a few days of training. She collapses to her knees, sweating as she tries to calculate the unbelievable amount of wealth she will need to support his growth all the way to the top. She finally realizes that her entire personal fortune is barely a drop in the bucket for a monster who can master such powerful laws at a low level. She begins to worry about how the greedy Elder Council will react when they find out she has hired someone who consumes resources like a bottomless pit. While she is panicking, Lu Sheng is back in his cabin continuing to absorb the cosmic energy, releasing an incredibly terrifying pressure that fills the entire room. The sheer weight of his rising energy instantly warps and bends the physical space around his body. He stands right in the middle of this twisted space, acting like a living black hole. Looking down at the empty container in his hand, he smiles as his immortal cell count rises to a massive 50 million extreme yang seeds. He figures out that absorbing those 4 level 3 cores gave him 45 million more immortal cells, which is over 10 million cells from each core. This incredible gain makes him extremely happy, and he realizes just how rich the Chamber of Commerce is compared to how poor he used to be. Now that his star path has fully upgraded to the Supreme Extreme Yang path, he decides it is finally time to test his new limits. He wants to find out exactly how strong he has become after this huge breakthrough. He thinks about which powerful enemy in his database would make the perfect target to test his strength. With that thought, he sits down on the floor of his cabin and enters a deep state of meditation. This sends his mind diving straight back into the virtual dream space of the Tinder database. Once inside, he searches for a legendary opponent he has been wanting to fight for a very long time. He travels deep into the heart of the archive to start the ultimate simulation, and suddenly spots something. Lu Sheng finally stands face to face with his new opponent, a terrifying, godlike entity at the absolute peak of level 14.